Breaking up is hard to do, especially when you're breaking up with a customer, and we're going to talk about that today. Hi there, I'm Angela Brown, and this is Ask a House Cleaner. This is a show where you get to ask a house cleaning question, and I get to help you find an answer. Now, today's show is brought to us by Savvy Cleaner Training, where we train house cleaners and maids how to keep and maintain their customers. But on the rare occasion that you have to break up with one, we teach you how to do that too. We're going to highlight some of those factors today, and I want to share this with you. There is a house cleaner that had a little scenario happen. And now we're going to hear her scenario. Then we're going to talk about how to break up with the customer. Here's what she said.
Hi, Angela. Just a quick question about breakages and clients who try to claim off insurance for things that might not necessarily have been our fault. So I have a cleaning company, and I've had a couple of cleaners with this client for maybe about 10 months now, and she's a little bit of a difficult client. However, we've now just had a bit of an altercation where I've ended her contract after one of my cleaners was allegedly rude to her, and she was allegedly rude back. So we've ended the contract. So out of the blue, she now feels that we owe her for breakages to 2 ornaments that apparently were broken by one of my cleaners that she decided to not tell me about and keep quiet, I think just to keep the peace perhaps. But obviously now that we've had this altercation and cancelled the contract. Anyway, she's now saying that one of my cleaners broke these 2 ornaments, and she's now claiming on the insurance. I don't believe her at all. I think that it's an opportunity for her. And I'm just wondering what you would do in this situation.
All right, so there's an art and a science to breaking up with a customer, because if you break up with a customer and then they come back and they try to sue you for something or they accuse you of something, then you have damage control issues and your reputation is on the line. So when you break up with a customer, you want to let them go easy. Now, when we watch TV, it's fun because people will break up, and on the way out the door, one of the parties will turn around and they will come off with something that's zany and witty, and then they will march out the door and you clap and you're like, haha, bravo. All right, before that happens, here's what happens. There's a writer's room. There are a whole bunch of writers in the room, and they talk about the story, what's going to happen. Then they sit down and one of them writes the story out. Then they come back and they evaluate how the story went. Then they take it and they pass it on to production. And the production team sits down and looks at it and says, yeah, this is a pretty good story. Let's make a few tweaks here. Then once the story is completely developed and we know what that witty comment is that the person's going to say, then they take the script and they create what's called a breakdown. Then they send it to a casting director, and the casting director scans her balance of talent to find out who's going to be the perfect person to say the witty line, because not everybody gets to say the witty line, right? Not everybody's the right person for that conversation. Once the casting director has decided who the perfect person is for that job, then they give the person an opportunity to audition for the job. Then the person comes in and they rehearse those lines. In this scenario, the lines are they're going to break up. And they rehearse the breakup over and over and over again. And they look for little nuances and how do I say this and how do I present this, and should I be mad or angry, or should I be funny? Should I be like, it's no big deal? And they have all the different nuances of their role figured out before the audition. Now, if they get the part, then they go on the TV show and they make this show of their breaking up or the scene of their breaking up. So there's a lot that goes into it. So why do we as house cleaners think that we're just going to show up and wing it when you see that there's so much effort and energy and rehearsal that's gone into the breakup process? Well, the reason it works on TV is because all this stuff has happened before we get to the breakup. So when the breakup happens, we actually know where the actor is going to stand, and we know what frame of mind they're in, and we know how they're dressed. And there are all these things that are set up to make the breakup go according to plan. Now, as a house cleaner, you too have the opportunity to sit down and write your breakup. And I suggest that you do this because this is not the only breakup you're going to have. In your mind, you know the customer. You've worked with this customer for however long. Now, in this particular case, this is a high maintenance customer that has nitpicked a little bit and has caused some problems. Going into the breakup, we already know that, okay? So It sounds like there was a house cleaner that was sent to the job and they had a blowout with the customer before there was any rehearsal whatsoever. The customer said things, the house cleaner said things, and we lost the customer. Either we fired the customer or the customer quit or whatever happened, but the relationship busted apart. Nothing witty was said on the way out the door. Nobody left with, that was a good one. No, what happened was the customer felt on the defensive and now she's attacking the cleaning company back. So even though we fired the customer and we've moved on, the problem is not resolved. So we want to make sure that when we have a breakup, that we spend the time learning how to break up. I know this sounds so crazy, and what does it have to do with house cleaning? But what it has to do with house cleaning is there will be a lot of breakups along the way. I remember one of the first breakups I had in business. I called my sister 2,500 miles away and I said, I have to break up with a customer and she's a high maintenance customer and I'm really scared that she's going to affect my business in a bad way. What do I do? And she gave me a great piece of advice. She said, make your reason for leaving about you, not the customer. Because if this is a high maintenance customer and her instincts are to attack you and to destroy your business, you want to let her down easy. And I thought about that for a very long time. And then I did what was similar to what they do in the writer's room. I walked myself through the scenario. Now she's going to be standing here in her house when I come talk to her. I'm going to do this face to face because I'm a grown up. I'm going to have a conversation with her that says we're not a good fit for each other. And it's for a variety of different reasons. But I decided not to tell her what my reasons were because my real reasons were her. I was going to quit because of her. And I didn't want to say, well, you're a lousy customer and I don't like you and you're mean to me and all these things. I didn't want to do that. I just said, we're no longer a good fit for each other. I'm expanding my business. We're taking it in a couple of different directions and I'm going to have to say goodbye. So I really want to thank you for the opportunity to clean your house. While I was cleaning your house, you paid a lot of my bills and I will be very grateful to you for the rest of my life. Thank you so much. But today is your last cleaning. And then she was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. You were the best house cleaner we ever had. Is there anything I can do to keep you? And I said, no, my business is just moving on and, this is it. We left on great terms. At the end of that day when I left, and this is the kind of customer that could have sued me or accused me of stealing something or accused me of breaking something or whatever. She was the retaliatory kind of customer. When I left, she gave me a $200 tip. And she said, I don't know what you're doing in your life, but as you move on, here, blessings to you on your way. I want to make this peaceful for you. And then I was like, oh, that's so nice of you. Thank you so much. And I'm not friendly, super friendly, warm and fuzzy with my customers, but she gave me a great big hug. She said, if you ever get back in the business and you ever decide that you want to come back and clean, please look me up. And I'm thinking in the back of my head, yeah, that ain't going to happen because you're the reason I'm leaving, right? I didn't tell her that. I didn't make up lies. I didn't make up excuses. I just made it not about her. Because if I had come in and told her what I really thought, there would have been fumes, right? She would have been angry with the way that I was leaving. And she could have turned and said all kind of mean and miserable things to other people in the neighborhood whose houses she knew I cleaned. So you want to let the customer down easy because there's no reason that you have to be right on the way out the door and you got to make them feel bad. There's no reason for that. So in this particular scenario, what has happened has already happened. You've already been accused of breaking the ornaments. And so I would suggest that you come clean and pay for the ornaments. That is what your business does. You pay for broken items. It will ease the pain of this woman losing you as a customer for whatever reason. I would send her an apology and say, hey, there was a blowout. I wasn't there. I don't know what happened. I'm terribly sorry about it. Please accept my apologies. Here's the money for the ornaments that were broken. And then be done with it. Be done with it and move on. Then from here on out, as you go to a customer's house, I do this with every customer on an initial walkthrough. I have a conversation about breakage. And I say, hey, listen, I'm human and I break things. People are like, whoa, you do? I do. I try not to. It happens like 2 or 3 times a year and I break something. And I feel so horrible when it happens. But I promise you this, if I'm at your house and I break something, I will always tell you and I will always pay for it. So if for some reason you find something that is broken, I did not do it. Because I will come clean and I will tell you every single time. Is that fair? And they go, yeah. If you find something and you think I broke it, will you please let me know? And let me know within 24 hours after I'm here so that I can make it right. And people go, yeah. And I say, but trust me, I will always tell you. And then if anything malfunctions, I always tell them. And there are times when people have had broken things in their house, and they're like, well, I wonder if the house cleaner did it. And any of the neighbors that they talk to will say, she didn't do it. She would have told you. She didn't do it. Her team didn't do it. They would have told you. That becomes part of your reputation. So let them know that right up front. Oh, I'm going to break something. You know, I have one of these days a month where I'm super clumsy or something. I hope it's not at your house. But if it is, I'm sorry in advance, and I will let you know. Now, there's no surprise. So when you're on your way out the door and you let a customer go, you've got to break up with the customer. They're not coming after you going, oh, you broke this or you stole that. Okay? Because customers do that. I don't know why, but they do that. All right, I hope that helps you just a little bit. And until we meet again, leave the world a cleaner place than when you found it.